Well, hello guys, I got this little 4.5 liter Cummins pretty much all back together. Only thing I'm lacking is I got the fan hub bolts and stuff are all, I think, at the machine, so that's not, those are just laying on there, so I haven't put the serpentine belt on, but other than that, it's pretty well done. I got the rear seal in it, and just got to take it out there and put it back on there, so get it running. I had and on the Roadrunner hay squeeze with the ISL 9 liter Cummins in it with the SCR problem. It's pretty much, I mean, I've narrowed it down. It's 100% certain. I mean, there's nothing else it can be. The decomp tube's fine. The doser's fine. There's no exhaust leaks. I thoroughly checked that last night. The knock sensors are reading correctly. I mean, for a prime example, there's a 589. What is that? A 589? I think it's a 589 Peterbilt sitting outside, 2016 with a PACCAR MX-13 in it, and it was initially brought in with an ECA, which is electronic clutch actuator. It's got an Eaton Ultra Shift transmission in it. Anyways, it had a knock sensor code in it too, and he's had that for a while. So I thought, you know, it's here. He's a pretty busy dude, and he never wants to park his trucks to get them fixed, it seems like. I know he's probably listening to me, but I'll give him a hard time. Anyways, you'll notice on a knock sensor, it'll, like that one out there on the Peterbilt, it'll read on the output. Once it starts reading, it was maxed out at 2666 or something like that parts per million, and never would change. Then it was saying that the heater wasn't working either on it, and so I just pulled that fairing loose on the right side and unplugged it and checked for, I had can high, can low, and then I had 12 volt power, and I had a ground. So pretty much rules it out that it's got to be the sensor. So anyways, that's usually what happens on those knock sensors. So pretty certain that on the Roadrunner hay squeeze with the 9 liter, it's more than likely the SCR. And a lot of the guys on the comment section on that video were pretty informative. There's some pretty good, knowledgeable Cummins guys that watched the video, and I agree. I did look that up after they told me about it. I looked it up on QuickSurf, and there is a campaign for an updated SCR where they get rid of the NH3 slip sensor, or mid-bed sensor they call it. Basically, it tells you how much ammonia is slipping through the SCR. So what they do is you put an updated calibration file on there, and then it goes to what they call a 2-bung cat instead of a 3-bung. 3-bung's going to have the intake knock sensor, you know, well, yeah, the intake knock sensor, I don't know if no, that's not right. I'm telling you wrong there. I think it's a temperature sensor. Anyways, it goes from 3 ports to 2, to where you're getting rid of the mid-bed sensor. So anyway, that being said, Monday morning I'm going to get that one ordered. I didn't want to order an SCR and that not be the problem. I wanted to make absolutely sure that was the issue. So I hate being a parts changer and not knowing what's wrong with it. So alright guys, so I've got pretty much all the Deere parts except for the hood shell. That I've got all the grill parts to put the hood back together on the new hood that's coming. It just hasn't showed up yet. But I've got liners, pistons, gasket kit, cylinder head sitting back there in a crate. So now I have to get going and get this thing cleaned up. I got to get the deck surface cleaned up and liner bores cleaned up, and we'll start going back together with it. Well, I'm kind of an OCD about these pistons. They come like kind of like a cat, except they don't have the rod on the end. The piston will be in the liner. I like putting them in there myself just to make sure that I got the rings in there right. This is trans gel here, which probably is pretty thick and heavy because it's cold. Get that stuff warmed up a little bit. I use that trans gel for a lot of stuff, assembly on stuff. Well, we're gonna need those. Okay. Snap rings. Alright, so the green one goes on the liner. Let me get closer over here to you guys. Green one goes on the liner. Make sure when you're doing these they don't twist on you. On deer ends, most deer, especially the 6.8s, 8.1 liters, the liner O-rings are in the block. Yeah, there's one on the liner and then the two other ones go in the block. Now I take a little bit of grease and smear here where the liner actually seats up against the other two O-rings. That way maybe it'll help it slide across it. And this orange one can be kind of a pain in the butt. If black's in the bottom, some of your O-ring kits on deer come with white O-rings and a black O-ring. So your white or your orange usually go on top and your black goes on the bottom. Let's put the black one in first. I spare a little more grease on the orange one. Usually, so maybe it'll stay in there. I'll put the camera on top of the deck here, but you're not really going to be able to see me do anything. I already got one liner in. That's why I got my coveralls off, and so I could get my arm down in here. It's like the black O-ring's a little stiffer or something. It goes in a little easier. That orange one's like, sometimes you'll think it's too damn big for the bore. It doesn't really want to fit. Okay. Oh, this wonderful orange. This one's just a little bit softer of an O-ring. See, you can feel it. Be problematic too sometimes. It really can. Okay, we got them. Let's go get the liner. And if you guys see me rebuild other engines, let's go ahead and get the liner and then I'll tell you. And on these liners, I mean, especially these counter bores, this one was pretty bad. I mean, I spent probably a good 2 hours with picks and screwdrivers and emery cloth cleaning the carbon out of the counter bores. If you don't get all the carbon out of there, I mean, it could affect your protrusion here on your liners. So just keep that in mind. Let's do another one. I knew I should have pushed that out instead of pull. It works better when you push them out. I shouldn't have done that, but we got away with it. They always seem like they want to, the skirt comes out and they hang up in there and problematic. It's kind of hard to grab them with his gloves on. Alright, same old song and dance. Maybe I'll wait on that one. Maybe it'll make it a little easier. Do twice as much walking, but it seems like it stretches on you a little bit or something. And this Transrail, as far as I know, is I mean, because you put O-rings and stuff together on transmissions with it all the time, and it doesn't swell O-rings or anything, so I don't know if it's a non-petroleum product or I've used it before and I've never had much trouble. Pretty universal good assembly lube, really. Okay, we'll get the orange one. Come on, man. This one's kind of a... I always fight this top one and the orange one or white one or whatever. The top one always seems to be a kind of a pain. Get it to roll in there. Kind of wants to kink up on you and be problematic. Patience, Danielson. There we go. Yeah, it keeps kind of kinking on me and not wanting to go in there, get the kink out and shove it in the groove, and it pops out somewhere else. I finally got it rolled in there. Alright.
I'm sure that's not what they tell you in the John Deere service manual, but I don't know how many of these I've done over the years. I'm not saying that I'm the greatest John Deere engine builder there ever was. I'm far from it. I've probably done probably 100 of these 6.8 liters. Anything from the old style with this mechanical pumps to the tier 2s, which is kind of what this is, and tier 3s and tier 4s. I use the 6.8 liter in the 6R series tractors. Alright, 2 more liners. One thing I like about these 6.8 liters is being able to. The lifters are pretty easy to deal with. I got them cleaned up. Just putting a little oil on them here. Clean motor oil. Let's go here with that one. And they're the same for each hole, it don't matter. Just kind of rock your finger back there and get them worked in there. Forgot to put some there. Turned over here. Okay, 2 more, and then I think I'm gonna go home today. See the missus. It's Saturday, it's about 5 o'clock. Me and her are gonna go out shooting tomorrow. Alright. What I could do is just go make sure they're all on the bottom. Just use that. Keep you from making another trip to the toolbox. Alright folks, I don't know if I should just, I don't know if we had enough footage here for one video. I'm not really even sure how much I filmed. So, we'll keep going on. We'll put liners, I gotta get the rods and pistons, wrist pins set up, and put the rods and pistons in next. I got new rod bolts, and then we'll pull the mains too and roll main bearings in it, and we'll put the head on her and torque her down, and we'll be getting closer and closer to getting her running.